Okay. Well, good morning, folks. Lester here, and I am live coming to you on my son's birthday. This is LE, my older son's birthday's today, and he's 23 years old. I'm really proud of him, and I have not had a chance to talk to him yet today. He, LE is in a habit of staying up late and sleeping late. And so I don't normally message him until around noon. And the funny thing about that is that his fiance, Megan, are the exact same way. She's not working right now. She just graduated college and she'll start teaching school next year at the beginning of the school year. But oh my gosh, there's Bailey. Bailey's on YouTube. Bailey sent me. Bailey, I'm going to get back to you. I want to finish this about Ellie first, though. But no, so how nice that both you and your partner are able to stay up all hours of the night, doing whatever kids do, and be able to sleep in the next day till about noon. And that's about what time they wake up. And so I will be reaching out to him a little bit later. I was going to have him join me on the live today and do this together. So, but no, I will be doing that in a little bit as soon as I get off here. But if you guys don't already follow my son's channel, that would be Flip Flop Farmer. And there's a dash between flip and flop. Y'all make sure y'all say hi to Ellie. And I know he would appreciate that and make him feel really loved because he is loved. I'll tell you, Ellie and I have a really neat relationship. Ellie's not like every 23-year-old. I've talked about Ellie a few times, how he's never, y'all, he's never come home drunk. He's never come home high. I honestly would bet that Ellie has never smoked anything or never taken anything or never even drank anything. And you don't get that a whole lot with kids this day with all the peer pressure and all the things that kids are having to deal with. And for Ellie to still be just a great kid. He, I often joke when I say that when Ellie leads into battle, he doesn't lead with the spear, he leads with his heart. He does. And, there's that something to be said about that. A lot of men are groomed to have that ferocious, strong, just charge in there. But Ellie has had his fair shares of up and downs in life. He certainly has had to deal with his adversity, but through it all, he's a very well spoken. He thinks everything through. He and he's going to always take the approach of what would Jesus do? Can I just say that? What would Jesus do? In any decision, Ellie's going to always consider what would Jesus do, and that would be the way that he would approach any situation. He's as kind of as a man as you'll ever meet. He would give you anything, the shirt off his back, as they always say. And so I'm really blessed to have Ellie as a son. He has been one of my closest friends at times. He's been the one I can always go to with a question or a concern. And I'm just really am. I'm really blessed. Ellie's an amazing young man, and I'm proud of him. A lot of folks will sometimes talk about the fact that you don't see Ellie around the sanctuary as much as you would like to. And all I can say about that is when I was at the age of 22 or 23, I can guarantee you that I can promise you, you would have never seen me around the farm if I could help it. And I think a lot of us are that way. We end up evolving or growing into roles. And I would say it was probably not until I got married at the age of 28 when I began to slowly find myself as far as that side of me. And so I am not upset or worried or disheartened at all that Ellie does not spend as much time around the sanctuary as what a lot of y'all wish he would. But I'll tell you what I'm so blessed for is that he comes by the sanctuary to visit his dad. when you get to be a certain age, even though there was years and years of a court order of what days I would get Ellie and what times I would have them and all that, once you turn 16, 17, and you kind of stop doing all the court ordered stuff, then it's just up to the kid. It really is. It's up to that child how much time he or she wants to spend with mom or dad. And for Ellie on his own to want to come out and hang out, and that is just so, whenever I see Ellie, I just feel really, really blessed because he has so much going on. His life is so very busy, yet he still finds time to come out and do things and help me out. He's also he was the second person in all of the family to start doing the video creating. So his channel would be the next oldest to I'm a Survivor, and he's found a unique audience in that. He's found a unique niche or calling. And I will say the last thing, and then I'll move on to Bailey. Bailey, you're next. Get ready, Bailey. You're next. Is that Ellie has tried to, so this is I'm a Survivor. It's an umbrella of a lot of channels. But Ellie has not been content to be just one of the channels under the umbrella of I'm a Survivor. Ellie has tried to find his way, his own way. Ellie wants to be his own man, and he's tried to find his way out of the umbrella. So he still does I'm a Survivor videos on occasion and content, and he still stays actively involved in I'm a Survivor activities. But he also does his own thing. He tries to find his own ways because he doesn't want to be just someone else under the umbrella. He wants to be his own. And so that's not easy. That's not an easy endeavor because, well, I mean, you always have everyone else has the safety and security of the umbrella of I'm a Survivor. Even even myself, Longhorn Lester still has the umbrella of I'm a Survivor. And it was the I'm a Survivor folks who I asked to come over and visit Longhorn Lester. Same as Suits to Boot, same as Shirtless Jake, same as, Life on Morrow Hill, same as Paw, same as Kim, same as, everybody. But Ellie has tried really, really hard. I would say he's tried the most to find his way out of that umbrella and find his own place. And you admire that as a man. You do. And I think that every man, every woman in life at some point has to be content with who you are. And Ellie's trying to find himself in that and go to school and pursue his career in coaching, teaching and coaching. He likes to play football. Oh my God, you can't hardly find that kid without a football in his hand. And so no, it's really, really beautiful. I have an amazing son. I will say I have an amazing two sons. But since today's Ellie's birthday, it's all about Ellie. And so, well, happy birthday, son. Your dad loves you very much. And I hope to talk to you at some point today and be able to tell you that in words. But I will say that I received a message this week, a text from our friend. She's all of our friend, Bailey, from Canada. And you all know that we ran across Bailey several months back. She has her very own survival story. And you know what? I could tell her story, but I really think that it would be really awesome if you all were able to see and hear her story for yourself. What she did. Now, listen, Bailey's not reaching out for trying to find any subscribers. She's not trying to find anything like that. She's not trying to be under the I'm a Survivor umbrella. She's just a young lady with a fiance and a wonderful family who had to endure a really tough thing in Hurricane Fiona. And she found herself at a point where she didn't know what to do. She was just at a point where does one go? And that's when she kind of came across the I'm a Survivor page, and she found out a little bit of the backstory, realizing that she and I had a whole lot in common with the coming home to what now. And we've been friends on here for a while. And then this week she She's had a YouTube for a while, but she's never uploaded the video. And I don't think that's uncommon. Lots of folks have YouTube channels, but they've never uploaded the video. And she took some time and she put together her very own Hurricane Fiona survivor story. And she uploaded that to YouTube and she wanted me to see it. And I sat in the tub with Jamie and we watched it together. And there were moments where it was just a tough and beautiful, just such a profound message from her. So Bailey, I know you're on YouTube. I've seen your name pop up a couple of times. If you would you want to share your link? And I'll put it onto my YouTube page here. I'll make it big if you can share that. Do I have any glasses? I don't have any glasses. So Bailey, if you want to share your channel's link, I would be happy to post it up here. Bailey is from Canada. And I can't see. Now I know that you're going to have you can't see it yourself, Facebook, but I will, if Bailey is here and I do see it pop up, then I would love to push that onto the channel. And so you guys can go watch for yourself. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to promote channels. I would be more than happy. And I know Bailey would enjoy if you all would go watch, and all of a sudden now I don't see anything from Bailey. She was here and I probably embarrassed her. So Bailey, if I've embarrassed you, then I do apologize. Sorry. But if anyone sees it, if she does pop back on here and post it, if you guys could repost it, and I'll try to figure out how to get it from there onto here so that I can post it big. Boy, Bailey is really messing with me now. Everyone's saying, Bailey, share the link. Bailey, share the link. Share the link. Funny story about Bailey is the first time. Well, Bailey, you says you're still here. So where's the link at? You need to share the link so we can all see it. Bailey's still here. The first time that we met Bailey, it was on a live. And it was back in the days when I was trying to figure out this darn StreamYard and trying to get all of our channels together where it would be easier. And it was not StreamYard's fault that did not work out. That was Facebook's fault that did not want to share you all with StreamYard. Typical Facebook. I'll tell you what. Oh, Lord. Bailey, I don't see a link. She says she shared the link, but it's not popped up. I haven't seen the link. Can't keep holding here all day, but you got to move on. Everyone's saying, come on, Lester, move on, Lester. Get on with the live, Lester. Guys, everyone needs to know that lives are not going to be animal stories. They're as close to real time as you can get. So Bailey's not able to send a link, I don't guess. So I don't even know how I would ever find that on here while I'm watching you at the same time. So maybe we'll have to do that next time. But Bailey, if you want to, at least in the comments for anyone that's able to see I texted you, but it's not working. Bailey, I'm using my phone. I'm using my phone to record. I can't check the text while I'm using my phone. You have to actually write it in the comments. Anywho, Bailey and technical difficulties. You know, the first time that I met her on here, it was back when we were trying to include a lot of you guys in the live chats. And I ended up stopped doing it because it wasn't fair to Facebook to not be able to see. And I'm trying to be as fair as I can to both of the platforms. You all know that I have Facebook on my phone, I'm pointing at Facebook now, and then I have YouTube on my laptop. But we'd been doing that for a couple of weeks, and I had let people join into the live. And at some point, Facebook stopped allowing us to do it through the StreamYard. So I finally had to break the phone back out. Now I have both of the two devices recording at the same time, which is crazy. But it is what it is. You know, you can't argue with Facebook. They are the folks who allowed us an opportunity to come to you all to share our story with the world. And so we have to adhere to their guidelines and their best practices. And one of the things that Facebook did not think was a best practice was to promote and push our videos onto StreamYard, because let's not get it twisted, because Facebook, just like YouTube, they want exclusive content. They don't want content that's been shared with everybody else. They want to remain exclusive. And so that's why we've been trying real hard to bring different content to both platforms. So I know that we talk about the double dippers all the time, how the double dippers, they are able to see what's going on YouTube and Facebook, but they also are able to get a little bit more information because they see different things. Now, that's not to say that I don't on occasion share the same videos on both, because in fact there are some videos that are such, they're important to either Longhorn Lesters or I'm a Survivor. They're so important that I don't want anyone to miss out. So I do sometimes have to, they call it cross-platform. I have to bring both platforms together and cross those up. So hold on. Bailey says the video name is Our Story of Hurricane Fiona 2022. And mine has my picture and banner that's in her name. So Bailey Walker says, if you want to see her video, it was, she kind of goes by and she narrates the entire thing. It's called Our Story of Hurricane Fiona 2022. Now, I'm guessing there must be more people who titled the same thing, but she says hers has her picture and her banner in the name. So that's awesome. I hope that you will go check that out if you have time. That was beautiful. Beautiful story. Thank you, Bailey, for doing that and for sending it out to us to look at. Whew. Okay, where were we? Now, you don't, so I'll talk a couple of things about what's been going on this week. You don't want to get onto a live and talk strictly business. But at the same time, a live is not usually out and about with your animals. We're not able to do that with our limited internet. So it would be awesome if we could always go live from inside the pasture or, close to the animals, because I know most of you guys come for the animals. But believe it or not, there are people who come just to find out what's going on behind the scenes and to dig in a little bit deeper to what's, the thought processes. And you want things real time, because when you go live, you are in fact getting real time. So this live is happening right now at 12 something my time here in Texas. And so you're live, you're seeing everything as it happens, which there's nothing really happening. It's just Lester sitting here rambling on about this and that. But some people like that. And I like it. I like doing lives. Whenever you do a video and you upload that video, you of course have to edit it first. So when you see a video, you're usually seeing things that happened anywhere from 24 to 48 hours before you're seeing the video. But a live is real. It's real time. So that's why we do lives on occasion. Jamie does hers on Tuesday afternoons. That's a one-on-one time with Jamie. And then I do my one-on-one time with you on Friday afternoons at noon. And then, of course, Jamie and I come together at Sunday. Laughing about Jamie, not laughing at, but laughing about, is how much mail she gets. That was a question that someone posed last week when I gave you a chance to ask your questions. And someone in the comments, I didn't address it last week, but someone in the comments said, who gets the most mail? Because we were talking about our gifts and goodies, some things that we had gotten, and the blessings of gifts and goodies and all of that stuff. And I will say by far, Jamie gets more letters and Jamie gets more mail gifts and cute little things addressed to Jamie than anyone else on Morrow Hill. By far, I would say 10 times more than anyone else. But here goes the but. There has to be a but. No buts, Lester. Just give Jamie her credit. No, Jamie gets credit for getting the most mail at all of I'm a Survivor. But I don't think that Jamie gets as much personal mail as what comes to Lester at I'm a Survivor. I don't know why that is. Jamie gets cute stuff. Jamie gets funny stuff. Jamie gets just a lot of neat things. And she does on occasion get some really heartfelt letters. But I don't know if Jamie would ever have enough letters to make herself her very own tote, a big ass tote full of people's pouring their hearts out to you. And so I hold that. I hold that dear. I find that as very, very special. There was a time when I was going to take that tote and begin to share those messages, because there's an old saying, and for you guys who've been around for a while, you might remember this, but there's an old saying that says something like, every time a senior, an elderly person passes, so burns a library. Now, I probably got that quote all messed up, but it goes something like, every time an elderly person passes, when they die, so burns a library. Meaning that there's so much stuff inside here that you accumulate and you acquire over your lifetime, that it's like its very own library. And how many times do you feel like you wish you would have had time to ask more questions to your grandparents when they were still alive? You wish you had time to ask more questions to your parents when they were still alive. And so I have this tote. It's a clear tote. It's big. And man, for the last 4 or 5 years of receiving just the most beautiful and heartfelt letters, everyone is telling you their story. People want to share their story. They do, y'all. That's just natural. You want to share your story. It's not narcissistic. It's not that you just think that you're so special. You want to share your story. And being that you found a page where people have gone through a tough time, and you find out real fast that many people on this page are also survivors of something, as we always say, and you want to share your story with these people, because these people, meaning you all, meaning me, we listen. We listen. That's why people read comments. Why do you think listen, you go to any internet, most internet channels, and you don't see as many comments as you get from people on these channels. You don't. And it's because people on these channels want to share. They want to share their stories and how it relates to whatever the video was about that day. And that's beautiful to me. That is beautiful to me. It's just beautiful. I'm sorry to say it, but it's just beautiful. Not because I'm a reader and I love to read stuff. I need material for my bathroom tub time. But it's just beautiful that people want to share stories, and they want to share that with me. And sometimes I feel like I don't do them a service because I'm not able to share those with you. Now, not everyone wants their story shared. Everyone knows that last week I got in trouble by sharing something I probably shouldn't have. But people love to share their stories. And I feel like with the platform that we've been blessed and having a little bit of a reach, then it's only our duty to share some of those stories and let those short stories get out. And then in doing that, man, there's a lot of people that can relate. Lots of people can relate. I'm going to talk about a story that I received this week. I'm not going to mention the lady's name because it was written to me in confidence. But it was an email, and we were talking back and forth, and I was talking about how blessed I am for my sons, and just for everything. And so she wanted to share her story of her children, and she says, "But Lester, I'm going to tell you that my story is not an easy one to read." And at that point, I'm very intrigued because they're never easy to read, y'all. I mean, there are some success stories out there, and everyone wants to tell you all these great things about how amazing their children are. But this lady, she said and talked about her kids. She has 2 sons, and her older son had gotten into drinking and driving when he was young. He started drinking at parties and doing things he shouldn't do, and he found himself driving home from a party while he was intoxicated, and ended up T-boning a vehicle. And I don't know exactly if the person in the other vehicle passed. She didn't really give all of that, but he ended up having to serve a very long time in prison. So I forgot how old he was at the time, but I believe that he ended up serving for 10 years in prison for his crime. And while in jail, he was able to get help with his drinking issues and other things that he was struggling with, other addictions. And then he also was able to find Jesus, and he found himself. He found himself. It took a really tough thing for him to find himself. And he also was very well behaved, so he was able to do things around the prison farm. And they also have trustees that can leave prison and go help other local farmers. As long as their trustees are trusted. Now, he'd have to report back every afternoon, obviously, and there was always an armed guard who would travel with them. But trustees can do things like that. You may have seen trustees picking up trash on the side of your highways or whatever. So trustees are able to start being productive even though they're still incarcerated. And her older son began to find a love for farm animals, and he also began to help and feed some of the stray animals that they would see along the farm road. He ended up taking on this little dog and a little cat, both of which he found as strays. She says that the warden, not the warden, but the security guard, whoever was the prison official who would have to escort him, would sometimes bring him treats to give to his animals that he had begun to love. Even some of the individuals, the farmers who actually owned the property where he would work, would bring treats. And she says, whenever we finally went to pick him up after his, I'm going to cry, after his time was over, he'd served his 10 and a half years, and all the family had gone up together to bring him home. She says it wasn't just him who they brought home. It was him with his dog and his cat. So how beautiful is that? Not only did he learn a lot about himself and he did his time, and I'm hoping that whoever was injured or hurt in that car accident, I know there's no justice for that ever, but that man found a passion for animals, and he ended up, while in prison, acquiring a dog and a cat. And I loved hearing that. And so that was a success story. She goes, he's doing wonderful now. He got a job, still takes care of his dog and his cat, and he really has found his purpose. And so it was just a beautiful story. Then she says, now I'll talk about her other son. And now this one here does not have a happy ending, but I says it not happy yet. I says, ma'am, you're going to hold on, and you're going to continue to say your prayers, and you're going to continue just to hope and love that child unconditionally. But her second son got himself involved in heavy narcotics, fentanyl, and all the things, opioids that kids start off doing, and they get themselves addicted. And she says for the longest time, she never knew he had an addiction problem until she and other family members began to find things were missing. He would take things and steal, even from his family, to pay for his habits. And they tried to get him help, and he just was unwilling to help himself. The addictions were so strong. And at some point, she wasn't able to continue to allow him around the family because it was just devastating to have to see her son going through those kind of things. And she says to this day, she keeps contact with him the best that she can. He's in and out of rehab programs and other things that addicts need, but she still has her fingers crossed that one day he'll make his way back home clean and ready to find himself and everything. And that's what I said. I says, Bam, I says, the thing is, you don't give up. You keep saying your prayers for your child, and you hope to God that at some point, he can find his way through the darkest hours, and and he'll eventually make his way back home, because we've all had our, well, hey, we all have our addictions, no matter what you say. And no matter how great you think you may be, every single one of us have our struggles, our demons. Okay, well, let's just call them our demons. And a lot of times people are guilty of trying to think that your demons are worse than my demons, Lester, or whatever. But in reality, all of our demons are demons. They grab hold and they don't want to let go. And be that a shopping, listen, shopping. I'm just going to move on, because addictions are addictions, and we all struggle with them all the time, my friends, and you guys know that already. But anywho, it's been beautiful letters, and me being able to share letters that, listen, I don't know why this kind lady would have wanted me to know these things about her sons, but there was a reason why she wanted to share that story with me. There was a reason that she needed to share that story, and as therapeutic, or as I don't know why, but why do any of us share personal stories? We need others to know, and she needed someone to know that. I don't know, but I tell you what, I was touched by it, and I love when people can find ways to share things, and just beautiful. So thank you all for when you share stories. And I guess all of this got started because Bailey shared her story, and so her story was shared with me, and then it was shared with all of us, and now it's on a YouTube channel that she created where she can share it with the rest of the world. Because I can promise you one thing, Bailey, and anyone else who shares your stories, that you're going to find there are people who needed to hear that. There are people who needed to hear that. Bailey says sometimes sharing stories shows others that we can relate to how they're feeling, which is empathy, and I would agree with that. It shows others how you're feeling. So, thank you for all of that. I do. I'll talk a little bit about what's going on around I'm a Survivor if you guys want to, and then a little bit about, hey, talking about addictions. I'm trying to kick that devil, Dr. Pepper, right out of my life. And I'm doing very well. So everyone knows that a lot of times around the new year, you start talking to your partner, you do some self-evaluation, some assessments of your life, and you try to figure out what's going wrong and what you can do to better yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. You need to do that. It's good to take time to assess. And I realized that, well, I mean, I've known for a while that, I mean, everyone knows when you're not feeling 100%, your health is not 100%. And so I think a lot of you guys remember 2 years ago when I went to the doctor and he told me to cut back on the Dr. Peppers and a couple of other things that I had some issues with. But let's focus on Dr. Pepper right now. And that was whole milk and Dr. Pepper, whole milk and Dr. Pepper. And he said, cut back on your whole milk. He said, skim milk, 2% milk, or all the other kinds of milks. And I was kind of like, okay, I can do it, even though I didn't. And then, of course, the other thing was Dr. Pepper's. And so I went ahead and I tried for a while. I'd get back on it, try for a while, get back on it, try for a while, get back on it. And so for 2 years, I struggled with back and forth trying to kick that habit. And so I finally got down to one a day, and I would do that one a day around the noontime when I thought my body was asking for some more caffeine. But so sugars in general are bad. Even too much caffeine is bad. Guys, who knows what all the effects or things we're drinking have on us. But now I'm doing a Crystal Light that has no caffeine and no sugar. Now it does have an artificial sweetener in it. And I can already tell you what a lot of y'all are going to say about how that can cause cancer in mice, lab rats, and stuff. And so I don't know what the long-term effects of me drinking Crystal Light are, but it has been a substitute for Dr. Pepper. And since I stopped drinking Dr. Pepper and started drinking more water and Crystal Light, I do feel a little healthier. I feel like my skin's a little cleaner and clearer. Maybe have maybe a few less wrinkles. Maybe there may be a less wrinkle here and there. I don't know. But I think they call that elasticity. I think that my skin is more elastic. There's a little more bounce to my step now, y'all. Just drink water. I do twice a day. I make sure that every morning I have a big glass of water. I mean, a big glass, a lot more than 8 ounces. And then I also drink water in the afternoons, a big, yeah. So I know that I'm seeing a lot of things about the pancreatic cancers and this and that. Guys, I don't know if there's anything we can drink besides pure water that's going to be a cure all for everything. But listen, I'm content right now with this Crystal Light. I'm content with Crystal Light. And I also will say that I've noticed that my anxiety has been a little bit better. You know, I take anxiety pills and antidepressants as I need to. My prescription is as I need to. And so I'm able to tell my body tells me when I need to. And so I feel like it's been further and further between doses. And I don't know if I can say that's because of Dr. Pepper's fault or not, but I feel better. And so if I feel better, I hope that you'd be happy for me because I would feel better for you. And instead of going to Google right now saying, what can Crystal Light cause? And start telling me how horrible of the things I'm putting into my body are, I would rather just not. Just know that I feel better. And if I feel better, then even if I die tomorrow, at least I'm going to die tomorrow feeling good today. Seriously, think about that for a minute. Even if I die tomorrow, I'll die tomorrow feeling good today. But I'm not going to feel sluggish today, and I'm not going to feel today. I'm not going to feel this way tomorrow, and then the next day, and the next day. I've lost quite a bit of weight, and that feels good. Obviously, to lose some weight when you know you need to lose some weight. I can fit in Jamie's mini truck. Oh my God. If y'all have not seen the video that Jamie posted this morning on her YouTube channel, From Suits to Boots, she had me and Uncle Dan, that's my brother, Uncle Dan, take a drive, a roundabout in her mini truck. And I don't want to give the entire video away, but I will say that at some point, I don't know why I brought this up. I don't know why this just was brought up, but I says, Dan, I wonder if back in our days, if all we had were little electric mini trucks to drive around in, would we have been able to pick up any girls? Would we have been able to pick up any girls? Now, ladies, don't get upset when I say that because you already know that most of your men, and men already know this, we use what we can to get what we can, okay? And a lot of men are going to, girls, you already know this, ladies, you already know that some men are going to use their car or their truck. They're going to wash their truck. They're going to armor all the tires. They're going to clean it all up. And when they go out that night, they're going to hope that if they run across somebody who they find interesting, they can swoon them. Swoon, I'll use Facebook friendly words. They can swoon them using their vehicle. And that works sometimes. That works sometimes, ladies. I'm sorry. But you also swoon men in your own ways, and we're not even going to go there, okay? We're not going to go how y'all swoon men, but you swoon us. So we swoon each other, okay? That is an old-timer word. If you don't know what that word means, it means you swoon, y'all. You sweep them off their feet, okay? We'll make it very sweet here. We'll make it very romantic. You got to find a way to sweep them off their feet. And how crazy is it that young men can sometimes sweep a lady off her feet if he has the right truck or the right vehicle? And I says, Dan, I says, I'm going to ask you this. I says, back in our days of trying to go around and pick up women in our vehicles. This sounds so dumb saying that at my age that we used to do that. I says, do you think we could have ever done that driving a mini truck? A little electric mini truck? And Dan goes, well, would everybody have to drive one? I'm like, no, just you and me. It's just you and me were the only two guys in all of our high school or college who drove mini trucks. And everyone else had diesels and gas powered vehicles. Would we ever have been able to go by and swoon and pick up a woman? And because I'm like, I couldn't. There's no way I could ever pick up a girl in a vehicle like this. And Daniel's like, "Oh, I could." Daniel said, "I got a lot of good lines. I got some really good lines. I could still pick them up." And I'm like, "You got good lines?" So anyway, I was just intrigued. I wanted to know his line. Like, what are his lines? I've never heard my brother sweet talk or swoon any woman from the things out of his mouth. And so we go through a little role play, a little skit. So I get out of the vehicle, the mini truck. We're on the road, y'all. We're on the road, but no one's coming. And I get out of the mini truck and I go around like I'm the young lady working at the McDonald's drive-through. Oh, someone already saw this. They typed McDonald's in all caps. So I'm the young lady working at the McDonald's drive-thru, and I have my hands in my lap, and I'm just sitting there, and you know how girls do their hair side to side, and they like doing all this stuff. You know how girls do that. That's what I'm doing. I'm sitting there at the drive-thru, and I'm playing with my hair. So y'all don't know what just happened. So I find out. I hope I did not end my entire broadcast. Are we still live? Facebook, you're fine. I don't know if YouTube is still okay. YouTube is still live. So I just got a notification on my phone. I'm sorry, on my laptop that says StreamYard is going to disable the link I put out to Facebook because I was trying to have Facebook I'm a Survivor here on my phone, but do a Longhorn Lester Facebook from StreamYard as a test. And I just now found out, it just now said that StreamYard has been disabled on Facebook. So it wanted me to click OK if I whatever. So now if you were watching on Facebook Longhorn Lester's, you're gonna have to go to Facebook I'm a Survivor because I'm so sorry. I tried. I was trying to see what was gonna happen. Okay, back to my story. So where was I? So I'd gotten out of the mini truck and I was standing at the pretend McDonald's drive-through and I was being a young lady and I'm sitting there doing what young ladies do, playing with their hair, popping their gum, all that stuff that young ladies do. And so Dan rolls up in his mini truck. Of course, he had Jamie in the back seat videoing the whole thing. And Dan put a really smooth line over on me. And my brother, Uncle Dan, who is a lot bigger than I am. He's a big guy. As a matter of fact, he's so big that he had to sit like this in the mini truck. He had to sit with his head turned like this because his head was hitting the ceiling. And Dan looked up that window and he laid a line on me, y'all. He laid a line on me. And it was very swooning. It was very swooning. And so I felt myself being swooned by my own brother. And I began to blush. And I did, but at the same time, my body began to react in a strange way. I felt my stomach suck in, and I felt I stick my chest out, and I just felt like I was like had arched my back. Whatever was going on with me, I don't know, but whatever my brother said to me swooned me. It swooned me. And at that point, I didn't care what he was driving. I didn't care if he was on his bicycle, an electric bike with a little sidecar. I didn't care. I was swooned. I was all his. I was all his. He controlled me. My brother, Uncle Dan, controlled me. So the power of words, my friends, the power of words. It's your love language. Daniel, my brother, Uncle Dan has a love language. I'll tell you what, and it's his power of words. And I'll tell you what, I don't guess I've ever been told the things that he told me in a long time, and it did something to me. I got in with him. I got in. I come right out the drive-through, and I got right inside there beside him, and then we're both sitting like this over here, as he's sitting there driving the little mini car home. I'm like just sitting there, just swooning the whole time, just like looking at him and just swooning, y'all. Learn that word. Lester was pimped out by Dan. No, Dan. Yeah, you got to watch out for men and their smooth talk because that was smooth. I would tell you the line, but I don't want to mess with Jamie's video. That's disrespectful of each other. to mess with their videos, you don't do that. You don't do that. There's an underwritten rule in video creation, and you do not video what someone else is videoing. And a great example of that is the day of our flood. You know, it rained. We had this torrential downpour. It was a really bad day in our part of Texas a couple of days ago. There was tornadoes. Now, we didn't struggle and suffer through any of that stuff, thank God. But I'll tell you what, my son's school took some very serious damage. They lost a portable building. It was an F3, hit my son's school. His mom works there, and just it was bad. And I am so lucky they brought those kids inside when they did. So thank God for early warning systems, because all of those kids from that portable were brought inside indoors when that thing hit. And luckily so. But what I was saying was, I had got my camera out, because what you do as a video creator is you look at what's going around and you video moments that you might find that you can engage your audience with. And that's what our goal is to bring you content that you would want to see. So obviously big news, you want to see it. And so after we got all this rain in just a short amount of time, streets are flooded. And I mean, our property has spots that flood. And I got my camera out like I always do. And I saw that Sister Kim was driving around videoing. And I saw Brienne, my niece, was driving around videoing for their channels. And at that point, I was just kind of like, put my phone back in my pocket, because like, you can't do that. That would be unkosher to do that. No one wants to see the same video, and it would be unfair. So even though we all have different perspectives, it's really nice though whenever you don't water down a subject. You don't want to water down your content by having everyone video the exact same thing. And so anyway, yes, I am talking about my son's school, not Ellie. He goes to college school, and most of that is online, but it would be Lex, and he goes to school in Pasadena. And so tornadoes are devastating. And I believe that an F3 still has winds that are 130 miles an hour. I'm not exactly sure. It's different than hurricanes, but an F3 tornado is bad. And as a matter of fact, they missed school for a couple of days after that. I don't know if they're back today or not. I haven't asked his mom, but I did not get Lex last night on our usual Thursday because his routine was so out of whack. And it would have been harder to try to figure out what's what and who's who with everything. So yeah, I had to lose a Thursday night, but that's what you do. You do what's best for your kids. You do what's best for your kids always. As a matter of fact, he had to leave his backpack was left at school. When they moved all those kids into the hallways, one of the rules was leave your backpacks behind. Do not bring stuff with you. It's like if you have to exit a plane, they say you don't bring all your luggage, leave it behind. And so he was told to leave his backpack behind, and his phone and all of his things were in his backpack. And so for those several days, he couldn't get his backpack and get his phone. And I had to communicate with him on the Xbox. The Xbox has a messenger thing you can do. And so we were able to talk a little bit. So an F3 tornado is the same string that hit Jason's grandpa's house. I knew they were powerful. And so that is so darn scary. So darn scary. Anywho, what else is going on? Oh gosh. All of our cleanup projects around I'm a Survivor are underway. Now, I think today is the 27th. And so we are several weeks into the new year. And so far, we spent several days doing the barn dominium, getting all that stuff cleaned out. And there was a lot of stuff to go through. We spent a couple more days doing the tool room, and then doing we call it our pharmacy. It's kind of a joke between Jamie and I, but Jamie has so many meds, animal meds, dewormers and different things that she's able to give the animals. And we keep all those in a couple of medicine cabinets in one of the sides of the barn. We did all that clean out, and it was just been a lot of cleaning that we've been doing. And then most recently, we went into the feed room and got all the feed room organized and cleaned up. So we're just kind of going through each piece of what we need to kind of continue to be a well-oiled machine. I like using the word a well-oiled machine. We just tried to kind of go ahead and re-oil our machine, if you will. And that's what I've been doing with my time is after I do the Longhorn Lester thing and then I get over to I'm a Survivor, I do my little 2 or 3 hour chore of the day, and then I do my feed up. So I'm still able to do my morning bus run if they need me. You know that I'm only doing bus runs part-time, and I've not done an afternoon bus run in a long time. I do the morning bus run a couple times a week, but the driving back and forth to Longhorn Lester's and I'm a Survivor that's pretty tough, y'all. It's pretty tough. But I usually spend that time watching and catching up on all of the family videos. Y'all hear that? It looks like someone sounds like they're ringing one of those little dinner bells, but that's actually Jamie trying to hit dog food off of the spoon, which is funny. Anyway, I don't guess I need to keep you guys much longer. I've been going for 50 minutes, which is pretty long. And I would like to share, if I could, I got 3 packages if y'all want to stick around for this. And then I'll take some questions. If y'all are okay with that, 3 packages. 3 packages. And then I will take some questions. But you have to make sure that when you do your questions, you put them in all caps so I can read them. And I got both the devices pretty close to me, so I can probably read most of them. But all right, so this here comes to Lester. I only bring things that are written to Lester. I don't bring things to Jamie or to I'm a Survivor, but just Lester. So a gift for you. Enjoy your gift. I saw these and could not resist. From Trisha. I bet I know exactly what these are. I bet you I know exactly what these are. Trisha, look, these are crock lights. Please don't judge, everybody. Now, I do have a pair of these. Please don't judge, but I'm wearing old Crocs today. And these crock lights go in there like this. And now, look at that. You can walk around at nighttime and you can see where you're going. You do not have to even have. These are awesome. Look, you can also do them for safety. We should put these on the little mobile, the little weenie wagon. So when you get out of your car, if it's afternoon hours, you can become people can see you're coming. Trisha, thank you for those. You know that I'm a big Croc wearer. And I found out that there's a lot of folks who love Crocs as much as I do. Even my dad's wearing Crocs now. Jamie's wearing Crocs on occasion, even if she doesn't want you to know that she is. Ellie's a big Croc wearer. And I've said a long time ago, I do agree that they're probably the dumbest looking shoe wear ever. I feel like they look like a Smurf shoes, like a big, like Papa Smurf, but they're also the most comfy for me. And I say that I would rather sacrifice looks for comfort anytime. So thank you for those. Those will look great on my Crocs. I appreciate that. I got a letter to Lester Morrow. It feels like a card. It was postmarked on the 18th of January, so it's too late to be a Christmas card unless they were behind. They were behind. Here we go. Whoa. It says, "You're the friend everyone wishes they had." I don't know about that. My song for the both of you is "I'll Stand By You" from the Predators or the Pretenders. Family is not about blood. It's about who's willing to hold your hand when you need it the most. Thank you both for holding mine. I'll always be here to hold yours. Love you both, from Karen Glenn. Karen Glenn. And then she writes a letter. Oh, no. This letter comes to Lester and Jamie. But you are my witnesses. This only says Lester. But so I always worry about reading a letter on a live video, because I don't know if it was meant to be read live. But I'm going to read just a snippet and I'll stop if I need to. Hey, Lester and Jamie, I was double dipping today And I saw a video on Facebook about a little goat named Betty. I cried the whole time. So I did post that old video. So someone asked me to do a video about um, Brady. And so I said that I would do a video about Brady, kind of a spotlight video. Why not? But I need to let everyone know the backstory. And a part of the backstory of Brady has to do with his little sister, Betty. And so I made this video about, well, I re-uploaded. The Betty video was an old video, but I re-uploaded that. And I gave both platforms, YouTube and Facebook, a chance to see the Betty video. I have taken and played the video about Brady on Facebook, not YouTube yet, but I will YouTube. I don't like to play a whole bunch of the cross-platforming, but some things I will, and that I will. The song "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" is one of my favorites, especially the one by Israel, Iz, comma, Wole. I had this played at my mom's funeral, not because she liked it, because it was my wish for her that she's happy and in a beautiful place and can follow her dreams now. So this is going to go on and talk a little bit about Karen's mom, I bet you. And now, all I'm going to say is, Miss Karen, you're going to have to let me know at the beginning of a letter at the top if it's one that I can read, because I never want to give out anyone's too much personal information. But I will promise you this. I will read it. And at the very end, she says, "I do love you and Jamie, and I always will. I know good people when I see them. I know and I feel that I can trust you both. Take care of yourself. I'm always here if you need me. Your friend, family, Karen Glenn." So thank you, Karen, and I'll be excited about reading your letter. And then there's one more that comes. Oh, Karen Glenn's on here now. Karen Glenn is on here now, and she says in all caps, "You can read it. You can read it." Okay, I'll read it real fast. Okay, so Karen says that her mom married young when she was only 19. I'm sorry, and no, had me when she was 19, and that ended most of her dreams. I know that she resented me because I made her feel trapped. Life wasn't easy. My parents lived paycheck to paycheck. They always made sure I had what I needed material-wise. Emotionally, well, they were just too young. Neither of them knew how to be a parent that way. And so I don't think you're the first one, Karen, who was born to parents who weren't ready for you. Listen, friends, and I'm just going to say this, and this is going to be tough for some people to understand, because if you came from a family that had you when they were ready for you and they were mature enough for what you needed, and they gave you the time that you needed, and they were able to give you the resources that you needed to give you a good life, then consider yourself lucky. But I bet that a lot of us were born to parents that weren't ready. Financially, we're not ready. Emotionally, not ready. Mature-wise, we're not ready. In so many ways, they weren't ready. And so a lot of grandparents had a very huge hand in having to bring up and raise up children. That happens today more than what you realize. But yeah, they also can sometimes, your parents feel like they resent you a little bit, or you may feel that they do because you made their lives more complicated. And that's a tough burden for a child to carry, y'all. Imagine that. My parents made me feel like I was different because that's what I was always told. There wasn't any money for much, but there was always music, and that was my escape from everything. And I also had books. I had a place in the back of my closet behind my toy box where I made a little nest with an old blanket, which was my safe place. I had my stuffed animals. I had a huge bear named Mr. Bear that was bigger than me. I would crawl up in its lap and pretend that someone else was holding me, hugging me, and that I was loved and that I was safe. And I would sometimes sleep there all night. Sometimes there was no one yelling at me, telling me how stupid and ugly I was. Oh, I would hum the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow and pretend that that's where I could go, and it would be safe, sunny, and warm. And I would be loved and wanted, not just a mistake that I was, because that's what I was always told. It only took a mistake. I'm sorry, it only took one time without, oh, I was told it only took one time without birth control, and this mistake was born. There would be no flowers, there's no birds singing, no blue skies, and all my animals. This is a tough thing to read, Karen. I'm sorry. I hope that I'm not doing an injustice to your story here. I felt invisible. I'm sorry. In my safe place, I felt invisible. I felt safe, out of sight, out of mind. It was the best place to be most of the time. It was my place to cry. I never cried in front of anyone. When I got a whipping, I would just stand there and take it. One time, my mom whipped me with a belt till blood ran down my legs, but I still didn't cry. I learned to go to another place in my mind, and it was like I was there, but afterwards, I would go to my safe place and cry on my Mr. Bear. I'm not blaming my parents. Life was hard. They were young, they were stressed, they didn't know how to be parents. Everyone told my mom I would be spoiled because I was an only child. So she went to the extreme to make sure that I wasn't. She always worried about what other people thought. All I ever wanted was to be loved, needed, wanted. I was always told I was mean in a way, I guess. It's like if you beat a dog enough, you'll make it mean. It learns not to trust, to fend for itself, and I guess that's what happened to me. All I ever wanted was to be loved, needed, wanted. I was by my animals, and that's what taught me to love. I used to tell myself that it wouldn't last forever, that when I grew up, someone would love me and his family would become mine. I always wanted 6 kids. I would never be alone, unloved again. Well, that didn't happen because by then I couldn't trust. I didn't believe anyone could ever or would ever love me. But that's what I always daydreamed about, hiding in my closet, humming Somewhere Over the Rainbow, hoping for better days. I love the movie Wizard of Oz too, but the flying monkeys scared the hell out of me. They scare me too. They still do. That's why I still love the song to this day. It's the one that you played in the video about Betty. Someday I hope to find my own way over the rainbow. I'm sorry to dump this on you. I should be helping you and Jamie, not causing problems. You're not causing a problem, Karen. What you're doing, I think, is Karen, I think that people sometimes need to know that they're not alone. And for any of us, and I say myself included, sometimes when you feel like, and we can all find ourselves feeling like we're not needed, or we're not a valuable part of the team at work, or we're not a valuable part of the family in a family function, we're a voice that goes unheard. That takes a very large toll on somebody. It takes a huge toll. And so sometimes it's very therapeutic to get it out. And so um and Lester, she goes, I'm not mean, but sometimes my walls do go up. So I've never thought you to be mean, Karen. You've always been kind to us. And so we are blessed to have made your acquaintance. And I don't know, Karen. I don't know if you said or not, if your parents are still around. I don't know if the letter said that or not. I don't, but I just hope that you probably need to know what I was told one time. And this was a very hard thing to hear. It was a very hard thing to hear, but it makes so much sense that I don't think a parent doesn't love you. Sometimes they just don't like you. Yeah, that's harsh. But I believe that, hey, let me just ask everybody, could people in the comments, I think Karen's watching on Facebook or YouTube, do you ever feel like someone, a significant other, let's say a significant other, they might love you, but they don't like you. They love you, but they don't like you. And so here comes the comments now. My mom didn't like me. Um, my mom doesn't like me, someone's saying. So, anyway, hugs to you, Karen. And I believe that you're getting lots of virtual hugs right now from a lot of folks who can share the anguish in your voice and in your story. And I'm glad that I was able to tell that piece of story. I'm glad you're here today, Karen. And like I said, I hope I did not do it any injustice. Oh, Karen, that was tough. That was tough. All right, here we go. Lots of love coming in for Karen right now. I guess this might be a sock puppet. But I don't know where my hand goes inside at. Oh, wait. This comes to Millie. This comes to Millie Morrow. Oh, I know why someone sent this. This comes to Millie, our dog Millie. And I know why they sent this, because Millie has a really horrible, horrible habit of tearing up all of her little stuffed toys. And every single morning I walk out and I'm trying to clean up all of the stuff, y'all. It's a crinkle toy, someone says. A crinkle toy. Let's see if there's a gift thing in here. It just says, enjoy your gift from Abigail. Abigail, thank you so much. I can't wait to take that out there and show the dogs. And they're going to have a lot of fun with that. And hopefully they won't be able to tear it into pieces, because I spent so much time having to clean up stuff around here, just cleaning up stuff. Okay, so that's the 3 gifts thing that I got this week. Thank you guys for those. The 3 letters, the 3 gifts. That's beautiful. Thank you for thinking about the babies. And Karen, thank you for sharing your story. And the little lights on my Crocs are wonderful. So thank you so very much. All right, now it's time for you guys to ask a couple of questions. If you want to ask a question, make sure it's in all caps. I probably can't catch them all, because they're going to start going by really, really, really fast. But I'm trying to read any questions that I can talk about. How is Tina and Al Davis doing? Al Davis is doing wonderful, guys. He's doing great, and Al is going to be fine. I do not have the same worries anymore that I had when he was younger. I think he's eating great. He's coming to me, and he's doing good. How about a juicy bag report? So, Juicy, if you guys don't follow Longhorn Lester's channel, we've kind of named Santana, that's Tex's wife, Tex, his wife. We kind of call her Juicy because she's like juicy right now. And I got that from, I don't know why I got that. I don't know where that came from, but we're calling her Juicy. And a lot of folks want a bag report, but I will say this. I really, sometimes she's already had 3 or 4. She's had 4 calves, right? She's had 4 calves. So this will be number 5. And sometimes you don't see the bag beginning to develop as much until you're getting real close to that time. And then I'll also talk about Gracie. We do think that she's pregnant. She went to band camp, but I don't see any development yet in her bag. And the thing is, sometimes a brand new mom who's never had children before, babies, like, I don't know if this is just an animal thing, but let me just say that cow moms, if they've never had babies before, may not have a bag until right at the time. It may happen right before baby's born when their bag begins to develop. So don't even ask about Gracie, because I don't know. I don't even see a bag on her. So I don't really know. All right, good. So we're done with the bag reports. What's the next challenge? Okay, so the next challenge is one that we've not put out yet, because only 2 people did the last challenge, which tells me that Morrow Hill's not really into challenges. They're not really feeling this thing. It's not really their thing. They're not doing the challenges. So that's unfortunate. But the next challenge was going to be one that I proposed. And I did tell the Facebook supporters about my idea of the challenge. They love the idea. But what I wanted it to be is this: that every one of the creators go into their closest super center, either Walmart or Target or wherever they shop, and go down each department and see which department better represents each creator, if that makes any sense to you. It's going to be an awesome challenge if everyone would do it. But the thing is, people get to doing their own thing and they don't really want to take part in the challenges. So either way, we did the challenges so people would stop doing the same thing over and over and over. And I think that it worked for that. I don't know for a fact, but I would bet you would have a hard time finding a channel doing feed up after feed up after feed up after feed up, day after day after day. So we're trying to all mix it up. We want to make sure that our channels continue to do well on social media. They will continue to thrive, and we can continue to entertain you all, as well as make a living for all of us. We don't want to have watered down content. What that means is if you have channels doing the same thing every day, then it's going to water down your content. And we're trying to avoid that from happening. So we're trying to find alternative ways to make good, interactive, engaging videos, things that go on around the sanctuary from all different perspectives, besides just animal feed up day after day after day. So yeah, I thought that would be really funny to go down through Walmart or Target and go to different departments and pick out whose department would be what. And I hope that will still happen. But if it doesn't, I will just say that Jamie's department would be either customer service or the pharmacy. Jamie's always the one that doctors and medicates all of our babies. She does all the horse feet, all of that medication stuff. She's doing Dixie here all the time. She's having to do all of the dewormers on stuff. Jamie is the one that has been a lot of help to Brienne and with doing stuff with Amy. And so Jamie just knows her meds, y'all. She knows her meds. So even though y'all might think, oh no, Lester, you need to be in the pharmacy with your prescriptions and all your ailments. No. That's a small part of my life. But Jamie needs to be in the farm. She needs to be the pharmacist or customer service. If she was customer service, because Jamie helps everybody. Jamie helps everybody around. And or the garden center. Someone says, or the garden center. That is so true. Jamie could be in the garden center. And then I talked about Jake would have to be in the toy department, because just Jake belongs in the toy department. Okay, toys. And then Sister Kim, though, would be tough. She would be in carpentry. Sister Kim would be doing something with tools. She'd be either having to measure something or build something or create something. So Sister Kim has to be in the tools. So anyway, we had fun with that. My dad would be the guy sitting on the blood pressure machine. My dad would be sitting there with the machine doing his blood doing the machine with his blood pressure. That's as far as he would make it. My dad would have to go in and put his arm in a blood pressure machine, let that thing do its work, and that's as far as my dad would make it. Okay. Uncle Dan, now that y'all know more about Uncle Dan, would be up by the cashiers, like trying to lay lines on them, I'm guessing. How funny. No, but I don't know about the challenges. Okay, what else do we got? Lester has built a lot of fences. That is for sure. Any more questions? So there's some things I really can't talk about that y'all want to talk about. Jamie could run Walmart. That's probably true. That is probably true. Okay, well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and let you go now. I've well exceeded my hour. I want to thank y'all for joining in and being a part of the live. And it was is 17 back? Is 17 back? So there's a little black duck running around who we think might be 17. Jamie says it's not, but I'm thinking, who else could it be? It was the only little black duck around. And so, all right. Tat doing the nasty. I will talk more about that, but I kind of can't until everyone gets a chance to see it. Oh, wait, it's already played on. That was one of those videos that I played on both YouTube and Facebook, but only for Longhorn Lester. Yeah, so Tat has grown up on us overnight. Where does time go? Tat is only 8 months old, and he's already doing things that birds should not do until they're about 2.5 years old. So Tat has really grown up. And then someone in the comments said that, Lester, why would you ever think or take anything that Google says for serious? Google told us that ostriches could not hatch in the Texas humidity. They have to have incubators. That's the only way you could ever get an ostrich egg to hatch. Well, that was wrong because Tex and Debbie certainly did their part, and they found a way to control humidity, and they made 3 babies hatch. So should have learned from then that Google's not always right. And then Google says that the mating season should have been over like by September. Well, that's not true either, because here it is January and Carl is still mating as much as possible, as much as Debbie will let him. So that's not true. And then it said Google just doesn't know ostriches, I guess. And then they say that your male ostrich birds will not come into age until they are 3 years old. Well, Tat's 9 months old, and I promise you, he's of age, okay? He is getting close enough to where he knows there's something going on in there. And I don't think we're going to have to wait 2 more years to find out what Tat knows, okay? So that was cute. That was funny. All right. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go now. Thank you all for watching and spending an hour with me. I appreciate that. I do have jobs going on, both properties. You already know that. And I'm going to get on out of here. And yes, all the puppies have been claimed except for those 2. I think we already talked about that yesterday on my live, or this morning on my live. Neither Bear and Rocky are the 2 little males that no one seems to have an interest in. We have 3 really awesome families who I've met online, obviously, who have claimed 3, and then Jake and Lissa are going to claim the 4th one. So I only have 2 that have not been claimed. But remember, we're being kind of tough in our criteria for who wants a puppy. You have to send me pictures of where your puppy's going to live, y'all. Come on. Send me some pictures of where they're going to live. A bed, your yard. I don't care. I need to know that you're sincere and you're serious. And I would rather you not live across the country. I mean, if you could be local, that would be great. But if not, you got to have an arrangement for how you're going to get here. And you don't want to put a tiny puppy at 8 weeks inside of a car and drive it for 36 hours, You still have time to find them homes. Yes, I do. And I'm going to make sure. And then over in Facebook, you're saying, keep Rocky, keep Rocky. I will keep any of them if I need to. I don't want to talk about the mean things. We're not talking about the mean stuff right now. If y'all had anything mean come up, just ignore that. I'll say one last thing. Okay, this is all Lester. I'm not reading any more comments. I'm going to just talk for a second, then I really will let you go. Let's talk about mean stuff for a second. So I will say that it never fails that if you find yourself caught up too deeply into someone else's business, if you ever find yourself caught up too deeply into someone else's business, it just kind of makes sense that you want to put in your 2 cents worth. Now, putting in your 2 cents worth in the comments is completely fine, as long as you can find a polite and respectful way to do it. But no one is going to allow any hateful bashing. Not going to allow it. Not going to allow it. And because we all know that negativity can spawn more negativity, and the fastest way to run people off your page is to be nothing but blasphemous and just spit out nasty, mean things. And so I think that you all should remember and remind each other of this, that if you go to someone's channel and you don't like what you see, I have said this probably 100 times. Hear me? And as one of the presidents said, read my lips. Find your happy place. I'm looking at both platforms. Go find your happy place. Don't be wishy-washy. Don't be wishy-washy. Go find your happy place and stay there. You owe that to yourself. In this short life that you live, you owe it to yourself to find your happy place. And once you find it, stay there, y'all. Stay in your happy place. You don't go to a channel if they annoy you, if they bother you, if you can't stand this or you can't stand that about the channel's creator. How foolish of you to go spend time somewhere where you don't find love and happiness. That's foolish. And so if it comes down to you making a judgment call of which channel you're going to watch and which ones you're not, then make that decision and make it. But there were, I think, 63 people that had to be blocked off of the I'm a Survivor channel this week because you got yourself too caught up. You got yourself too caught up in something that's none of your business. No, listen to me. I love you. I do. We love you. We love you. But this is still our family, immediate family. And you are just kind of like outside looking in the window, if you will. And we can call you our social media family. We invite you to be a part of a lot of stuff. We share a lot of things with you, but that does not give you the right to go to a channel and attack the channel creator. That's any channel. You have no right to do that. And so don't say, Lester, avoid the negative. No, I'm done avoiding the negative. I will come at you. We have 4 moderators that run this channel. And out of those 4 people, they found the need to completely ban 62 people off of the Facebook channel this week. And if we didn't get at least 4 emails the next day asking me, why can't I see the channel? Why can't I see your page? And then the funniest and the dumbest thing is, I'm a subscriber. I'm a subscriber. I wouldn't subscribe if I didn't love your channel. Well, don't think that your $2.49 gives you any kind of freedom to be blasphemous to the channel creator. Sheesh, people. And so you have to be more take more ownership of what you say. And so I'll say one last thing. This is something else that I thought was kind of funny. How is it, Lester, that you can be negative, but we can't? Well, it's my channel. That's why. How is it that Lester can be negative, but you can't? Well, like I said, you can put a comment. You can let your voice be heard if you can be respectful. But let's not make no mistake about it. It's still my channel. So you can't come into my house and bash my children. You would never let anyone go into your house and bash your children. So don't come into my house and bash me or my son or anybody. You don't do that. You don't do that. And then for all of the demanders who need to know every in and out of the operations, how foolish is it for us to demand to know the ins and outs of your home? You don't do that. You don't ask for people to show you their private life. And so we will show you what we want to show you. I'll say this, and I speak for every creator on all of Facebook and on all of YouTube. Now, Lester's saying it, but I speak for everybody. I don't care if you like Daniel or Jason or Chad or Sean, no matter who you follow, or any of the Morrow Hill, the Jakes, Bree, Kim, Dad, Pawpaw, Jamie, we show you what we want to show you and nothing else. There. We show you what we want you to see. We tell you what we want you to know. We don't have a publicist like the Kardashians might, or any TV show. We don't have a team that sits down and figure out how each drama is going to all play together to make the next one even better. We show you and we tell you what we feel comfortable telling you. We show you what we feel comfortable telling you and showing you. And Stop being so demanding, because we don't do that either. We don't do that either. We don't do that. So anyway, find your happy place and stay there. And because you're not going to find there's not a person who is going to give you the leeway to bash them or their channel and not find a way to kick you out of it. And how does that feel? Obviously, for 4 people who've been emailing like crazy, it must feel pretty damn lousy. So don't find yourself as one of those people. You don't have to like what we do. You don't have to like everything that we do, because we're going to make a lot of mistakes. We already said that. We already know that. You've said it 100 times. But we don't want negativity. We don't want your money. We do want you to go find your happy place. And that's all. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. There's nothing else to say about it. What else is there to say? So, all right. Well, I don't want to ruin a good thing. This has been a really great thing. Karen, thank you for this. It's that kind of love and support and just sharing of your story that makes this channel what it is. We really are, Karen, we truly are all survivors of something. And bless you for what you've had to undergo, and bless all of you that came to Karen's defense and sharing your love and knowing that you know where she comes from. Bless you, sweet Bailey and fiance, for what you guys are working to overcome right now. Thank you for the part of the video where you mentioned us and how sweet that was. That was very kind of you. You didn't have to do that. But you meet people in your life. You run across people for a reason, y'all. I really do believe this. You run across people for a reason. Now, you may run across them online, like here. You may run across them at the grocery store or wherever. But when you run across people, you can sometimes see a light that shines in that person, and you can't be helped but be drawn to it. And so, Bailey, you shine a light, and I was drawn to it. Jamie's drawn to it. People on this channel are drawn to it. And so, bless you for the light that you shine. And Karen Glenn, I've never met you. I've never met you, but you know what? The things that you say and the things that you comment, and just as polite as you are to us, means a lot. And thank you for that, along with so many other folks that are so very good to us. So, okay. Well, thank you so much for loving us and for being accepting of us despite our many flaws and shortcomings. And I just want you to know that we're trying, that we do try. Life is not easy for anybody, but we really do try. Family is here to laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. Well, I'm trying to find a way to make you laugh here and there. Okay. That say Yvonne. Yvonne is a pretty name. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go for real now. And I will end the broadcast on Facebook first. And thank you, Facebook. And now YouTube. One thing to know, YouTube, coming up in the next couple of days, we're getting towards the end of the month, and I'm going to start posting a few extra videos, things that I played on Facebook, but I never played for YouTube. Just know that it's not because I'm trying to mess up my double dippers, because we love the double dippers, but I am trying to make sure that no one misses any content that's relevant to what's going on around the page, around the farm. So sometimes I will, even though I said I'm going to try to keep YouTube and Facebook, different, I am going to upload a couple of things to you guys this week that you did not get earlier, because I think they're relevant to what's going on around the farm. So it's just bonus content. It's bonus content. You're not going to like it because it's getting in the square format, but it's good content. It's interesting. It's entertaining. And I think that it's relevant, so you can kind of keep up with what's going on everywhere. Okay. And don't worry, I did the same thing for Facebook. When I went to Facebook, I tell them the same thing. I'm giving y'all something that I put on YouTube earlier. So I do that sometimes just because we're at the end of the month. Okay. Love you much. Thank you so much. And Dale, I saw you pop up. It's good to see you. Who's still here? Who's still sticking around over here? Glendis, Cindy double dip. Cindy, you a double dipper. I joke and say, oh, I love those double Ds. And then people get upset with me for saying stuff like that. I love the double Ds, meaning the double dippers. That means those that like Facebook and YouTube. And I call them double Ds. It's easier. I sometimes slur my words when I say double dippers. So saying double Ds is easy. And then people get all weird, like, oh, too much information, Lester. No one cares about your double D infatuation, Lester. I'm a double D too. Okay, well, that's Great. And Dale. All right. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I love you, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Okay. Thank y'all.